Hey guys, and welcome back. As you can see, I got my video editing software back, so I decided it was time to start making YouTube videos again. And this being the holidays, I'm seeing a ton of bad players in Scouts on World of Tanks, and particularly on this map, on Prokhorovka. I wanted to start out the video with a strat sketch, just basically showing all of the different scout positions that you can play initially that are somewhat viable, in my opinion. Now, as you can see, what I've got here, I've got the green light tanks marked for the north spawn because green base, and the red light tanks will be for the south spawn. And you'll notice I put a big X right here over the hill, and that's because at the start of any game on Prokhorovka, there is no reason for a light tank to go to the hill. Any other tank can do the exact same thing as you can on the hill. A heavy tank can provide vision across the top of the hill as good as a light tank. There is no reason for you to be up there, with one exception. I will say this: if you get the south spawn and say your team has 3 scouts, then I would say it's okay to go ahead and make a run right up from your base, come up the hill, come across the top, and light anything coming up towards the hill this way. Now that would be kind of viable, but my condition for that is you need to have at least 2 already on your team, because they will be the only ones really able to shoot at anything crossing through here. And number 2, you do not stay on the hill. As soon as you do your initial run, light anything coming up through here, you need to take off back out of here and get off the hill, because again, by the time a medium tank or a heavy tank gets up to here, your job on the hill is done. They will be able to do everything that you can on the hill from that point. So just disregard the hill as a scout player. Now, you'll see I've highlighted the red and yellow, or red and green boxes here on each side of the ridge. Now, this is for if you have at least two already on your team. You can scout, you can surf this middle ridge here. And the only reason I say that is because if you have already, if you're surfing the ridge and you light tanks down here below the ridge, nothing on your team is going to be able to shoot it except for Artie. So Artie is going to be what will be dealing damage while you're surfing the ridge. Anything back down below the ridge, they're not going to take damage from even your TDs up high on this side. They just won't have the shots. So the only time surfing the middle ridge like this is really worth it, in my opinion, is if you have at least 2 Arden on your team. Other than that, a medium tanks and heavy tanks playing the ridge will do just as well, if not better, than you on this middle ridge. Because, I mean, to be fair, the only thing you're probably going to light is anything in this kind of area. You might get lucky and catch something out back here, but probably not. In all probability, you will be much more effective if you are playing on the 1 line in your scout. So, that being said, now these positions I have marked. I am marking these for a reason. I have seen scout players playing like right here in this line of bushes, thinking they're going to spot a push coming from this side. Or maybe they're not as stupid as I think they are, and they're just playing there so they can shoot and try and pad their win 8 or whatever they're thinking. I don't really know. But these positions I've marked here are generally the most useful that I can come up with as I'm thinking about it. And this one I marked more as for encounter battle, where the cap is here. Like the replay I'm going to show you here in a minute is an encounter battle. And the only reason I'll say that is because when the cap is here, a scout tank here lighting everything on the backside of this ridge, so your tanks here in the middle can farm them, can be useful. I still don't think it's as useful as playing the one line. But now, out of these positions I've marked here, this one up here is a very risky run to try and get up here. 9 times out of 10 you're going to get, well, maybe not that often. Half the time you're probably going to get lit coming through here trying to get into this bush. So it's kind of hard to actually make it to this position. So it's a little less useful. Again, and this position, I mean, it's usable, but it's not my favorite position. Again, same with this one. I don't like this bush back here. It's just not good enough in my opinion. So this one, this position here is the one that I would recommend from the north spawn. And this replay I'm going to show you here in a minute will show you why I prefer this position. Now, if you get the south spawn, the run that I normally make in a light tank will be to go from spawn straight into this bush. Now, you can't go straight into it. You have to come to like right here and then work your way up the row of bushes to here. But when you do this, you're usually going to catch any light tanks trying to make this run. That's the counter to that. And this is the farthest forward position that you can usually get. It's also probably the riskiest of the 3 positions I put out here for the south spawn. But if you don't feel comfortable going straight for this, or maybe you see that the light tank that you're playing is significantly slower than the enemy teams, like if I was in, I don't know, Sheridan, and the enemy team had an RHM Panzerwagon or a T-100, this might be hard to pull off because your tank's a little slower. But these positions up high on the ridge are definitely, especially this forward position, is a good spot to be in a scout tank. You're going to be providing vision on anything in this area. So that's doable. So now that we've looked at strat sketch and I've outlined some of the initial starting spots that I like to go to, we'll just switch over and go to the replay I have for you, and I'll drop that and we'll pull up the replay. Alright, so here we are. I'm in my RHM Panzerwagon. So this is the fastest tier 10 light tank. This is an all tier 10 game. So right off the bat, I'm going to try and get all the way up into the bushes at E1, the riskiest spot that you can try and go to. And the reason I'm doing that is because this tank is so fast, I thought, well, there's a chance I might make it. so I'll take the risk. And as you'll see right about here, it did not pay off. I immediately stopped, turned, went to a bush. It didn't work. I was already lit. So I'm having to run out of here. So I turn around, run away, wait until I'm unlit. Now, where I'm going to go back is actually my favorite position for a scout tank on Prokhorovka now, since I changed the map. It's the most effective I've found. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you guys can come up with something better. You can throw a comment in the video down below. I'll put them in. But there, you see I've got the light tank spotted, back up, and I can actually fire from this position without giving away where I'm at, without getting lit in return. So, now the main reason that I prefer this spot, even over this one up here most of the time, that line of bushes up there, I, I usually don't prefer to be up there. But the reason why is um, that row of bushes up there on the red line for the south spawn, where I actually highlighted the scouting positions. If you go to this spot a lot of the time, you will spot anything up there in those bushes. Um, and and particularly like STRVs and medium tanks like to play up there because there's a little ridge where they can fire and then back down. If you were up by the red line in this line of bushes right up here, you would not spot them. But from this location, you actually can spot people trying to play those positions. So this is just my initial spot. One of the main reasons I chose this replay to feature for this video is because it shows how I progress the game in a scout tank um, on this map. So I I think it's coming here pretty soon. No, it'll be a minute more. I'm gonna spot a couple more tanks before I move. But yeah, see, there's the 26A. I'm just racking up spotting damage, which is that's what you want to do. I mean, that's your entire purpose for playing a light tank. It's not because you know it takes less damage to get purple stats in a scout tank. Who cares? The purpose of playing a light tank is to help your team win. That's what you're going for. You want to win your games. So, 9 times out of 10, you don't need to even fire your gun. And if you do decide that you need to fire your gun, please do what I'm doing here and back up out of the bush. Get get well behind the bush before you fire, so as to try not to get spotted, and then you can continue scouting. But yes, 9 times out of 10 you don't even want to scout. I definitely had an impact in this game in helping my team win, and I think I may have done like 1,000 damage by the end of it. It's not about your gun in a scout tank. That's not your role. Um, so there, you see I'm backing well away from the bush before I fire, just to make sure that I'm not getting lit. Alright, now, so the 2684 died. I was actually lucky enough to pick up that kill, so now we're going to try and progress the game. I don't feel like there's much left down here in front of me. So I get out of the bush, I come over into this row of bushes going up alongside the road, and I'm going to try and progress from here. And you've got to be patient. You've got to take your time with it, and that's why. You're going to, you don't know when you're going to run into enemy tanks or when you'll get them spotted. But if you keep running forward at full speed, chances are you'll be lit by the time you spot someone else. But if you take your time, slowly work up through this line of bushes, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna light whatever is in front of you before they ever see you. So that's why I do this. And I'm just sitting here waiting for this 430U to die. It looks like he's AFK, to be honest. So I'm gonna put the camera back on my tank where y'all can actually see what I'm seeing. I'm just trying to take it slow, and not slow enough because that scout tank was sitting there. And I'm lit now, so I'm just kind of ducking back and forth, trying to dodge any shells that might come in, that sort of thing. I, and I'm getting kind of antsy now because I'm pretty sure I'm still lit. So I decided it was time to actually try and move forward. I mean, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm expecting to die, just at any second. That's why I actually took that shot. I mean, I figured I'm probably already dead anyways. And there's the STRV. This is the last tank hiding back here in this case. Probably because this is an encounter battle, so the other side of the map is actually where most of the action happens in this battle. But yeah, see, the STRV dies just as soon as he gets lit, pretty much. So as you can see, I didn't live to the end of the battle. I only did, yeah, right, probably around 1100 damage total for the entire game, but that wasn't my purpose. I'm in a scout tank. I got 7200 spotting. That, in my opinion, helped my team win more than anything I could have done with my gun, which apparently somehow I picked up 4 kills during the course of that battle, but it's not really about the gun. It's more about your spotting and progressing the game. And the same thing can be said from the south spawn if you're trying to progress the game northwards. Once you get tired of your initial position and think it's safe to start moving up, try and push the enemy team farther north. You just drop out of your initial position, get into this bush line beside the road, and just start patiently working your way north. And that's about the best way you can play a scout tank on this map that I have found. And that again, that's only my opinion, but um, that's it. I mean, y'all are welcome to argue with me, but I really don't think you're going to change my mind. But if you guys have any other positions that you think are noteworthy and should be included in a video like this, leave it in the comments below. If it's something I missed, I will definitely try and work it into a video. Alright, that's all I've got for you. Hopefully someone learned something from this. Hopefully we'll see better scout tank players in our games. Probably not, but still, I've tried to help. Um, but anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please comment, subscribe, hit the like button, and I will catch you guys next time.